coming out. We got an awesome speaker tonight and a pretty sweet topic. ADUs. Everybody's heard of an ADU, knows what that is. If not, you're about to. This is a really awesome way to take a piece of property that already has a home on it, that's zoned R2, R4, C5, bunch of other zonings, and put a whole nother dwelling unit on it, rent that out, potentially live for free in the house or live in the cottage and rent out the front house. Really awesome strategy. If you've already got that land, you can do it. It could be something worth looking for in the future. But tonight, our speaker is John Lancaster. He has been building for 50 years and has recently took the direction towards ADU construction for some pretty cool reasons that I'll let him explain and tell that story. Before I let him come up, this is House Hacker Mafia meetup. Tanner and I run this. We are investors, real estate agents. If you've got any questions, we are happy to help. I hope you learned something great tonight. Network and meet somebody new. And give it up for John Lancaster.
I appreciate that, Ryan. Yeah, we do have a phenomenal topic. Now, the phenomenal speaker thing, I'm not a speaker, okay? I see things, but speaking is not my thing, so bear with me, okay? He said it might be about 10 people or so. Anyway, but it is a great topic, okay? And I'll do my best to kind of plow through it. Like I said, I've been a builder for 50 years. Grew up in a family. My dad was an architect. I got 4 brothers, all builders. You kind of just grow up in it. And my mom loved to build. And so I grew up in it. And by the time I was 18, I was doing real well as a builder, very, very wealthy. And then I made a mistake and went on the mission field and found out some really neat things, and found out purpose and all that kind of stuff. And it really opens your mind to what is homeless and what is houseless and all of that kind of stuff. So when I got back, I was like, okay, my whole thing changed. So I started taking more classes in business and in theology and missiology, and I was more of a big picture person. And so I've always wanted to come up with this impossible solution to homelessness. It's huge, and it's growing, and it's growing faster. It's exponential right now. And like I said, I in studying the different things, and I saw that it's a lot more than houselessness. Homelessness, I grew up in the Potomac, Maryland area, and billionaires, and you can have a 50,000 square foot house and a bowling alley and 2 swimming pools in the basement and a 20-car garage and be homeless. But you can be camping and be just full. And so what was the dynamics to all that? And we need both, okay? So Pavlov's hierarchy. And anyway, so I've been a builder for all these years. I sold my company back in 2007. I started a video production company. And the reason why I did that, because I wanted to, I did this thing back in 2001. It was an experiment. I had an epiphany of sorts. It answered everything I was ever looking for. It's like all the theology, all the questions I had about how do you fix this? How do you fix these problems? And I had this epiphany. It just blew me away. And I did an experiment, and it freaking worked. We built a house in 11 and a half hours with 22 guys, a 3-bedroom, 2-bath house back in 2001, 2 weeks after 9/11. We did it for Habitat for Humanity. I came up with this thing. I was like, oh, okay. If we could tap that, okay, along with some other things. I've studied all types of building. I've studied European design, Asian design with their space saving. I studied, the tiny house movement. It's like Goldilocks, but that's just a little too small. You know what I mean? And so I studied the Southern design with their pier construction. I did a lot of pier. I mean, you got 50-story buildings built on that. Why are we still building, here? So anyway, with all of that combined, but the biggest thing I saw was this war between modular and stick built. And the reason why I say all this, because it's going to lead you to why I can build such an affordable ADU. And nobody comes close to us. And because of that, I don't have to advertise much. And I'm helping this housing solution. I think people in real estate, builders, we have the burden and the responsibility for this homeless situation. I think the food people have the problem with food. We've got this, and we're supposed to attack it. So I'm attacking it from the builder point of view. And there needs to be investors and real estate folks that say, hey, let's do this. It's not make money or help people. It's both. You can do both. When we separated ministry and business, both died. It needs to be one and the same. It gives you purpose. And so I designed a cottage that could be built indoors efficiently. There's a reason why Berkshire Hathaway bought Clayton Homes, because he knew the future of home building was not outside in the snow and the rain. It is inside. Believe it or not, the modular home is a better built home. Look at the hurricanes. When they come, there's one house standing, it's probably a modular, because it's built to take the wind. But how come we got to make them look so cheap? Okay? And then why, okay, I've been into these factories, why are they spending $50 million on hydraulics for 10 guys to watch a guy with a remote move a wall when those 10 guys could have moved it in half the time and saved $50 million worth of investment? Well, you wouldn't have that 20% overhead. So if you studied all the things of construction, and if you knew what I knew, being in this so long, I said, well, let me just cut right through and come up with the best way to build a small home. And then small as well. Why did we go from the 50s of less than 1,000 square feet to now 2,500? Do we really need that? We got, you got boomers that are downsizing. You got millennials that can't afford a $500,000 to $600,000 house. And it's not even cool to have a McMansion anymore. It's like it's cool to be within your realm. It's like it's like have money for other things, other people. And so let's come up with a beautiful little cottage that's cute, that's thick, that's super energy efficient. Let's not spend $300 on utility bills. Let's spend $75 on utility bills and take the $275, put it into a better house. And let's not have painted on overhangs and painted on, window trim and 7-foot walls. Let's 3-inch that you can't add on to, and the value goes down as soon as you put it on your property. Let's make it thick and good. So a person, instead of renting for $1,500, can buy for $1,500. A cute little house, yard, dog, and it goes up in value the minute you move in it. And more than that, if you're ADU and some of you folks are in the investment, you literally, all these R2 lots, like 50 by 150s, chop off that back 50, it's got an alley in the back, pop one on it, you can live free in the house up front. Or, like I've had a number of people do that put these on there, they built it to rent out, they moved into it. They liked it better than their main house. Now they're cash plus, living free. So when you put the three together, okay, how do we do it affordably? Most builders don't want to build a $150,000 house. They want to make $150,000 on a house. Okay? Well, I understand that because it's the same amount of work that goes into an ADU that goes into building a whole house. These are IBC, IRC built homes. And you got to be a builder in order to build one. So that's the reason why you don't see many people doing it. Or if they are, they're expensive. And most of the people that are doing it are minimum of 20% more than ours, okay? In fact, I had a customer the other day showed me it was about double, for the same footage, because it is a lot of work. But if you can streamline it, take ideas from Henry Ford, you can have any color you want as long as it's black, Well, you can have any design you want as long as it's one of these, okay? But we give you freedom. This way my guys can get in and knock stuff out. My subs know what they got to do. There's no butt scratching and head scratching. They're going, okay, we know what we're doing. It's like putting your kid's swing set together. First one takes 8 hours. Second one you probably can do in 4 hours. Third or fourth one, you're down to 2 hours. Well, what if? Well, anyway, we did this. And so I had this idea back in 2001 to build one of the Habitat's homes that they take 10 months on, we built it in 11 and a half hours. 22 guys. Instead of 11 versus 11, I took the thing of sport, made it 11 with 11, and that the opponent was, low-cost housing. And there it was, cooking bread at the end of the evening, in a house. So there's things we can do, both in labor, material. There's a reason, like I said, Clayton Homes was bought by Berkshire Hathaway because that is the way. You don't build your cars in the driveway. Why are we building houses there? Okay? If you have to, I understand. But if it's an affordable one. So we designed a cottage, okay? And just keep me track of time because I have no idea. How do I do this? Here? One finger, two finger?
For scrolling, you can use 2 fingers.
2 fingers? Where's your arrow? Is it a mouse you need? I'm a Mac guy, okay?
I got the mouse might have stuck down there.
Oh, there you are. All right, let's just click the video. Let's go down. Yeah, just click. Can you get that full screen or something?
Yeah.
Sweet. All right, here's a cottage we did. This is.
Sound off or on?
Yeah, that's fine. Leave it on. We make them so that they can go down the road. They're 16 by 16 to go under traffic lights. We can build these indoors. We're licensed to build stick-built indoors. I'm looking for a warehouse. Sarah, you know that, okay? So, but full-size kitchens. These are not tiny homes. These are about 3 times the size of tiny homes. Full-size bathrooms, full washer dryers, tall ceilings. It doesn't feel small when you're in these. Like I said, I call these the just right homes. Like, it's not too big, it's not too small. They're just right. But you have freedom to have larger bedrooms, larger center, but we can bring it in. All my plumbing, electrical is a no-brainer for my guys. They go in and knock it out. And with all the R2 lots, these can fit on. We make them a certain size that they can fit within. But put a loft up there, why are we paying for spare bedrooms, okay? Have office, bedroom. Why are we having very inefficient American closets? Let's do the European armoires. It just makes so much sense, okay? Add a little deck, put a fence between the ADU and the rear yard, the main house. Especially, most of these have an alley in the back. You literally have its own house. Who wouldn't want that versus a little 1 or 2 bedroom apartment with a 3x5 balcony? You can put a dog, you get privacy, you get parking, everything, okay? But we have, okay, now I was going to click these floor plans. Okay, just 2 fingers. I was going to go to the floor plans or whatever. You might have to.
Let me sit. I'll sit right over here.
Okay, yeah, there we go. All right. Yeah, you do that thing. Like I said, I'm a Mac guy, so I don't really.
I feel the same way going
right.
to Mac.
All right, yeah, so right here. So basically you'll see something very similar. Like Henry Ford, let's make it. All right, so scroll up. They're mainly small houses. We can get up, but we can add additions onto the side. We can add an addition in one day. We can add a 2-bedroom, 2-bath addition in one day. You can't do that with modular or anything else. So you can start small, front porch, and it's the same kind of, this is the same thing. All right, then scroll to another one. You can add it, make it a little bigger, make it 10 foot, okay? Make this bigger, okay? It's still staying within that 14 feet. And with the overhangs, we stay within the 16-foot width. I think I'm the only person licensed in America who can stick build and not be called modular. It's an IBC IRC. It's not a HUD, it's none of that. It's a stick built home. The only problem is that if we're putting in ADUs, they got the lower wire lines and things like that. The truck can't bring it in. But if I had a subdivision, my goal is to have a subdivision of these. Literally, imagine having, houses at 2.25 to 250, would it not, it'd be like Levittsville all over again, okay? So, scroll, you could decks, you can keep adding, you can have bedrooms, porches. Again, it's no-brainer. We don't charge for house plans because we already got it. I've already paid it. Like I said, it's like a mission, so keep spending. We did a 60-footer with a rooftop deck up in Denver. It's like, yeah, so keep spending. That's a 1-bedroom. You can see it's got some similarities. 8 foot is the smallest bedroom, but you can just keep adding in 2-foot increments. or add it to this. Okay, you don't have to have the big loft. You can have it low down. You can save a lot. We even have a 12-foot version of this. The 14 is the most popular. It's the most economical. Okay, keep going. In fact, you can see it just gets larger. Keep going. Let's go to the 2-bedroom. That's a 2-bedroom, 2-bath. It just gets longer. What's nice is that because you get these 50-foot lots, you got all the space in the world. It's like, anyway, 150-foot lots, okay? Now here's where you can add an addition right onto the back. So the person could start out with this, and then when their family grows, slide it in, okay? Kids, so you don't have to move. And so a subdivision of these that all look the same kind of keeps the nuclear families and the nuclear type of thing. So keep going. And okay, they got some, this kind of shows you some of that's a 1-bedroom. You can see it's basically the body and without one wing. Okay? And so that kind of gives you some floor plans and stuff like that. That's a 2-bedroom. That's what it looks like. It's very similar. But you can change your sidings, change your colors, move your windows around. All right, keep going. I think we'll just go down to the rooftop deck one. Yeah, so but this is neat. We're building one of these right now off of Kacharis. You got to see that. It's kind of neat, okay? Gorgeous view, okay? But that's really nice to have, okay? Especially if you can get a view out of it. And then I think there's one more down here. Yeah, this one here is a 3-bedroom. It's got the little wing, rooftop deck. So you can fluff this peacock up, or you can keep it small, okay? You can make a little 12-foot cabin in the woods, and then you can add on to it. So the main thing is they could be added onto, and they're affordable, but they're high quality. 2x6 walls. The 2-bedroom in the video that I showed you, that was a 2-bedroom. The guy in there, he says, he was in July. This was 2 years ago. He said, my utility bills were $39. It's all electric, on-demand hot water heater, okay? No worry about gas blowing up the place, okay? Put your money into making it super. R49 ceilings, R30 floors. I got my own helical machine. Why? They're fixing basements with helical piers. Why not make your basement out of helical piers? So I got my own machine, license. We drill, saves $20,000 right there, okay? So most of these are in expansive soils here on the west side. So when you're drilling, when you get a soil sample, it'll probably say expansive. So we start out, we have the foundation done in 6 hours. All right, we've got questions in a little bit. Am I getting near the 20 minutes or whatever?
About 10 more minutes.
Oh, 10.
You're at 20.
Huh? Oh, I'm at 20. Okay. So anyway, this is actually a product of how we came up with this is that I wanted something that could be economical, but that could be built indoors and trucked out. And the reason why I did that is because one of the most untapped sources of energies we have is human energy. And it's in the area of sport. Studying missions, just about every film you'll see them kicking a ball back there. Any country knows 11 versus 11 soccer rules. They've got this natural thing for competition. Why is it that most of our sports are needless kinesthetic activities? So what we did is we designed a sport where you could build a house in a day, okay? And then since then, we did it in 01, 02, 03. Since then, we perfected it down to the point where it could be built indoors, so I don't have to worry about the weather. We could have filming equipment, so it could be a sport that could be tied together, have Mike Rowe kind of from his hotel room, beam in, live stream, and all over the country, all over the world, we could have thousands of houses built in one day, and a tournament and things like that. Prisoners could do it. They could be, instead of basketball and lifting weights, they could be building houses and learning a trade and be a part of a sport and be on TV. Homeless folks, they're not going to get off drugs for a $12 Arby job, but they might get off for $25, $30. I can't teach you to frame in a month, but in a couple weeks, I could teach you to shoot OSB or pull wire or drill for pipe like Henry Ford did. He got them Because of the way he did it, he got the $1,500 car, which is about $45,000 in today's money. He got it down to $260. Well, so that the average person could afford one. Well, if I can get a person to $25, $30 an hour, which I can do pretty quickly, that person has a trade and can afford to buy one of these cottages. A homeless person buying their own freaking house. No NGO money, no government money needed, none of that. This is a sustainable solution. It's a fun solution. It's a sport. It's televised. It's a sport where at the end of the day, instead of busted kneecaps and beer cans, you got a freaking house left over. Imagine tournaments with thousands of them left over. Look at all the practices that people have. And at the end of it, 99% of the people don't go into the profession of their sport and all that money spent. Only a few people make money in professional sports. This is a professional sport you can get damn good at. The first one, we had an 18-year-old making $120,000 a year as an electrician. I mean, you can make really good money if you treat it right. Okay, treat it like sports people treat their sport. It's a kinesthetic activity, but it takes brain. But most of our sports, most of our countries, businesses are built top down. You know, workers on the bottom, piece of crap. But sports, the workers on top. It's the inverted pyramid. And so when you treat them well, they like it, and they work at another level. Well, if we did business that way, it'd be the same way. So I took all these philosophy, all these things I had, I put it into a thing. Sure enough, first time without practice, knocked out a 3-bedroom, 2-bath house in that. Next year, in fact, it's an old video. It's back when it was 480. Okay. 20 some years ago. I look a little different. Let's see, the Buildable Original trailer. And this just kind of shows you, it's about 3 minutes, but it just showed the energy. The guys were crying. Nobody celebrated them. We had cheerleaders. We had live music. We had radio people there. The workers were crying. We made cheers for the workers, you know. Stands, everything. It was neat. Yeah, so play this real quick. I don't know, volume. There you go. So this led to the cottages that you see. But we did this in 01. They sent the video to ABC, and they said they weren't interested. 9 months later, Extreme House Makeover came out. This is so much better than this is so much better than Extreme House.
Well, right now
it celebrates the worker.
Organized pandemonium confused, but it seems like we have Spring's finest in every aspect going on right now. We are actually pretty much, we got about a 5-minute a late start, but that's not bad. And we are actually on schedule, if not ahead of schedule.
Had penalties for unsafe running, all that kind of stuff, like hockey puts you in a penalty box, and you can only work with 21. Yeah, live bands, referees, they're the building inspectors, they loved it. They built a bigger house in the same amount of time. Then they built an even bigger house. And then when we went to Gunnison, and they blew El Paso out of the way. First tries. Now we don't even allow cranes. We make it fully stick.
Head coach, this whole project, we spent more time than anybody else with the player. The contractors and the people of Gunnison County pulled the world record.
in essence, they beat the record by 2 hours.
They did a 19% bigger house in the same amount of time. So anyway, this was back in '01, back when it was still the 4.3 format. So I said, if I ever had a chance, I had people say, John, this is, NFL, the quarterback, Johnny Unitas, before NFL Films was making $60,000 a year. After NFL Films, he was making 600 because it's celebrated. When the worker is celebrated, things go to another level. And so I said, if I ever did this, so I started a video production company for the sole purpose of being the NFL Films for this sport. And so in doing it, we designed a plan that could be built by high schoolers, college professionals, women, veterans, all ages. So pick your size, and then you can build it. So that's what happened. But in doing it, when we were practicing, a neighbor leaned over the fence and goes, I want one of those. And then another neighbor goes, I'd like one of those. And so we haven't been advertising. We just recently did. It's like it's this whole other industry we weren't planning. But it's a damn good little cottage, okay? At a great price. I mean, we're talking, we put standard granite countertops, all the appliances, full helical foundations. It's a brick. If there's a hurricane, get in this one, So, but it's a great product. So the big picture is, got a great little product. If anybody wants one, you'd help the cause. But the ultimate goal is to get this thing. We're looking for a warehouse. Sarah knows what, and or some land to build, because all it's needed is an empty warehouse with a big door. And a prison can put one of those up. Homeless people that want to work, not the ones that don't, could ride an electric bike to work, and I could get them to $30 an hour pretty quick. And at $30 an hour, you can afford one of these. And so they can work. The homelessness is gone, and then the houselessness is gone. So I think now I'm done with my thing. So I appreciate your time. If anybody has any questions, yeah.
What do they cost you to run?
They run about 600,000, the small one, and then it just kind of goes up. Now I have them under 100 for a small one, okay? But again, this is the reason why builders want to build big houses, because then they can get that square footage price down. Nobody wants to build something small, so you got to get the base price down. So most of mine run like a 2-bedroom right now runs about $159, but my competition is charging like I said. I just had a lady. She shared with me the other bids. And the other was $195 and $240 for this, and mine's better. I'm sorry, I'm just saying it's a better built, because I have low overhead, and my showroom, Home Depot, I give you an allowance, nice comfortable allowance. You go pick it out, tell me what you want. We pop those in, your fans, your flooring, and all that. You get to customize it that way. So yeah, so they run right in there. Most of them, I don't have any over 200, so. But that's everything: appliances, foundation, utilities, tank. The neat thing about ADUs, no tap fees. If you have an R2, you got 2 lots and 1 house. So put that other one. It makes no sense to not have another house in the back there. I'm sorry. Yeah. Okay. Go ahead.
Do you also ship to other states, or?
That's our goal. That's our goal. Right now, we're just so busy. Like I said, it wasn't even supposed to be. It was supposed to be coming up with the beta of a really good cottage, so that I got, like, my brothers want to do this. I got other people across the country who want to compete in this, and so we're doing that. And next thing you know, okay, we'll build you one. Oh, okay. And so, and then it's like, well, wait a minute, no. I have to build it indoors and then get the approval of that zoning department to have a stick built brought in, because it's better than modular. And I don't want to have to go through the modular license and all that. It's just too much overhead.
Do you have any examples of ones that are already in place, like downtown, that we could drive past?
Yeah. We have about 20 of them, we built over the last 2 years. I just finished one for a friend of Ryan, 3-bedroom, 1 bath. But there's a bunch of addresses all over town. We have a shelled up model off of Powers and just south of Constitution. He's a little green one. I don't know if you ever driven by that one, but that was one to train our guys up, and so we trained them up. Now we got a freaking house left over, you know. So okay, and it's like, think about it, man. Nobody's tapping into human energy. We're talking about getting another mile a gallon out of a car, but think about human energy. You know, it's like, anyway, nobody's tapping into that.
So I understand that this is mostly for ADUs, but are you able to apply the same concept towards multi-family units with using the same construction process?
Making one of these I don't know. It's designed to just be a small house with its own yard, but it can be the main house too. You know, I've got a person that wants this to be his main house. The only difference is you got to pay a tap fee. It's like 17 to 25 for a tap fee, you know. But that's the neat thing about ADUs. Literally, we're building, as soon as we get the permit, we're building next day, you know.
Just a follow-up, so if they're modular, you mentioned earlier that you could add additional square footage on. Could you not then apply the same concept to add on additional dwellings to it?
Probably, yeah. So like, you know, it'd be great for house hacking. You add bedrooms and baths. The only problem is you got to know the building department. They're a lot of fun. The only difference really between a house and an addition is a 220 plug for your range. Don't put a range in. Like you look at these houses in these R16s, R19s, they got a full basement. It's got refrigerator, microwave, everything downstairs. The only thing it doesn't have is a stove. But then you can buy these little, you didn't hear me say this in the video. You can buy those little things. You can't cook a 30-pound turkey, but you can cook a 20-pounder, put it in the closet. Your little hot plates. Come on, you know, so you didn't hear me say that. He told me to say that. But that's the difference between an additional dwelling unit and another addition. But you can even do, I've got one that we're about to start. It's an R16. They call them accessory family suites. But it has to be attached, and we have to put a door. But we literally are putting one of these right to the house. Now we're changing it, modifying it so it kind of matches out. They want it to match. But you can't have an HOA to say no. But if it's an older neighborhood, so R16s, you know, if it's an older neighborhood, you know, you're just adding an addition. It's not much different between a large addition and an ADU, but making it separate. They want the money, and so you got to pay these, you know, PLDO fees, you know, and all that kind of stuff. But you cannot beat it for building a cute little house, you know.
And you can get traditional funding.
It's like I said. Now the financing, because it's new, they'll lend you money all day long for a big addition things. But because it's a separate unit, some of these people just, I don't know, get things in a. Anyway, they say, okay, I want to see either the money or the equity up front. Now there are some people like Renify and a few people like that they're saying this is a big market, and so they're now taking the appraised value and the rental income, and so. But some of the people are like, well, show me, rent it, and then we'll give you the money. I'm like, it's got a little bass backwards, but so there is a little bit of financing. So if you know some finance people, there's a lot of money to be made in ADUs because it's brand new. So
it sounds like from your fees, you guys take care of build, delivery on site, foundation.
Right now we're just stick building because we don't have a warehouse yet. I can't find one with tall enough ceilings, big enough door, and access for rent. The pot growers got them all, you know. So I'm trying to get one, but we'll probably just have to build our own. But right now we're stick building, and then plus, if we were delivering we'd have to have the ability for the truck to bring it in. But we've designed it so that we do have a very efficient, no crane drop-off solution for these things. So I could do a subdivision cheaper than any.
You guys handle the foundation?
We handle everything. We handle everything except curtains and yeah, we handle all that.
Included?
Included at no additional charge. Just the original package. I go in because, I mean, it's not a house until, without a car without a steering wheel. So unless you have your utilities, the foundation,
But you'll tie
parking.
in.
What's that?
You'll tie in.
Well, we'll tie it in. Most of the time, especially if it's got an alley in the back, the utilities go out the back. It's pretty easy. If the utilities go to the front, we'd have to tie into the main house, so it could be a long trench. But still, we do our own. We do it for a third of the price. That if you had a utility company do it.
You mentioned R49 on the ceilings. Do your options have cathedral ceilings?
Most of them, but all of them we've done so far are cathedrals. It just has a sense of space. It's worth it, okay? But if you wanted to get down and dirty, and we could pop in 8-foot ceilings, and if you needed, a camp, up in the mountains or something, we can pop a regular truss on there. But most of the time, we put the nice, parallel trusses so that you get the full. And the neat thing about these, especially from the mountains and stuff like that, we designed this so that if you wanted solar panels, that center section is 212 pitch. You don't see the solar panels. And solar panels are that's the seeing them. But to get to see the 612 pitches, so you can't see them. So it's designed for that, and you can always pop that commode out and put a compost in there if you wanted to. So
I got one more for you.
go, that's fine.
You mentioned the electrical only. Any capability of gas? Ran?
Oh yeah, no. You can put gas in there. It's just more expensive, and if you're renting it out, it's a liability.
I'm just thinking if somebody doesn't have the 200 amp panel on site, it may be tricky to get that ran.
Yeah, if you wanted to go LP, yes, yeah, oh, absolutely. It's just that's where if you're going off grid and going out in the county. Yeah, getting the warehouse opens up, all over Colorado, all over everywhere. But right now we've got our tongue hanging out right here in El Paso County. Downtown and Old Colorado City are just loaded with R2 lots. And I can put this on a 25-foot wide lot. That's why we designed it. Because it got 5-foot setbacks on the side, 5 foot from the valley. I put one of these up in, and now I'm just doing it down here. I put one of these up in Englewood, Colorado for a guy. He bought the lot, paid $150,000 for the lot, 25-foot lot. We put this a 2-bedroom on. In 7 hours, he got $575,000. He pocketed $250,000 just, and we build these fast. Okay, there's not money if it takes a long time. Most of ours are 90 days. Okay, from the time we start, 90 days, we're out of there.
I got a question. So in order for you to build a separate cottage on the back, it's got to be zoned correctly, R2, R4, C5, etc. But if I already have a home and it's on R1 through 6 or R1 through 9, and I want more space, you mentioned that there's the ability to do an addition, not just an addition to your design, but an addition to an existing home. But I don't think I saw any designs there. So is that something that you can just do more custom, or do you have designs?
This is the thing. It's the Kentucky Fried Chicken dilemma. It's like, do I go into hamburgers? It's like, because of this design, if I've had to say no to a lot of custom stuff, and yet it's heartbreaking because as soon as I do, I'm just another builder, okay? And the price goes up because everything is brand new, stop and go. This one here goes in. We probably down the road will be able to do that, but I would say, especially a lot of people want one over a garage. Well, most people want a rancher. Ranchers are everything nowadays, so that's why we kind of keep to the rancher and get a garage company to pop a garage in next door. But as far as custom, yeah, I'd like to come out and take a look at the lot, because chances are one of these floor plans, like the one we've got now, we actually took the center and put 2 bedrooms in the back. It is this floor plan. Yeah, it's saving her a ton of money.
If I want it to be attached, can I make like a really long covered hallway?
Yeah, that's the thing. It has to be attached. It could be a carport. It could be any of that. It just has to be attached. Okay, but you might have to put. Some of the people are saying it has to be a direct door from conditioned to house, and then others, in fact, it all depends which building inspector I get. So as long as the roof is permanent, you know. So there's that. Okay. So it's just, if you're R16 or R19, holler at me. First, I'll check HOA. They're the first ones who'll shoot it down. Okay. But if it's an older unit, older place, your neighbors will love you for doing it because they're going to do one. In fact, right now, it's the big thing is to cut that house and top and bottom and pop a staircase in and make it that way. Or finish out the basement, dig it out, make a nice, where the basement is a full living space, and make that an ADU. So take a 2,500 square foot and make 2 12s out of it.
All right.
All righty.
Give it up
Thanks,
to John. Cool. Thanks for coming out. That was great. You got time to stick around for a little bit? If people want to come chat with you?
Sure.
Sweet. There is, I should introduce you to a lender I know that is doing financing for when you buy the house and for the construction of the ADU. So they'll appraise it for the future value of the house plus the ADU, give you a loan on it, 95% loan to value, and we'll pay for the construction. So
will they do it to somebody who's already in the house?
I don't think so.
Okay.
No.
So it's a new construction loan, correct?
Yeah, combined with buying the existing home.
Okay.
So,
that's sweet.
I don't know, that could work out. That's a good idea for you because I'm sure a lot of your questions in your mind are 200 or 150. That's like pretty cheap for all I'm getting, but how do I afford that? Because I don't have 200K cash, right? So if you're gonna buy a house with that lot, that could be a potential solution for you. Anyways, thanks for coming out. Come talk to John if you're interested. In 2 weeks, we're going to be back here, and we've got Ryan Decker coming to talk. He owns 10 plus short-term rentals around the city, Cripple Creek. He's got a cool geodome house and some other funky houses on some land at Cripple Creek. So he'll be coming and telling his story. That should be pretty interesting. So 2 weeks we'll be back here. We've got the room till 8:30. Meet somebody new, network, and thanks for coming out, y'all. Have a good night.
I got some brochures if anybody wants them,